It's interstellar. It came from outside the solar system. Could it be a Voyager-like meteor? Imagine our own spacecraft colliding with a planet like Earth.
A visitor from another star system has an engine. At least that's what it looks like. The interstellar object known as 3I Atlas is baffling scientists with a glowing tail that points directly at the sun, something that should be physically impossible for a normal comet.
It was moving too fast to be bound to the sun's gravity.
It's moving faster than anything we've ever tracked, and its chemical makeup is unlike anything in our own cosmic backyard. So what is creating this impossible sun-facing plume? The investigation into this cosmic anomaly has uncovered a truth that is far more explosive and shocking than anyone first predicted. The visitor that broke all the rules. In the vast silent darkness of space, our solar system is a tiny island of light and order. But you see, sometimes things from the outside find their way in. On July 1st, 2025, a robotic telescope system called Atlas, designed to be our planet's early warning system for dangerous asteroids, spotted something new. It was a faint speck of light moving with a purpose that immediately set off alarms. This wasn't just another space rock from our neighborhood, its trajectory was all wrong. It was coming in too fast, on a path that could only mean one thing. It came from interstellar space, from the void between the stars. They named it 3I Atlas, the third interstellar object ever detected. But this visitor was not like the others. What many overlooked at first was its sheer speed. It was blazing through our system at a mind-bending 130,000 miles per hour. That's fast enough to travel from New York to Los Angeles in just over 1 minute. This incredible velocity is a telltale sign of an object that has been wandering the galaxy for billions of years, accelerated by the gravity of countless stars it has passed. The thing nobody tells you is that it's likely older than our own sun, but its age and speed were just the beginning of the mystery. As the world's most powerful telescopes, including the Hubble Space Telescope, turned their eyes toward 3I Atlas, they saw something that couldn't be real. Comets are dirty snowballs. When they get close to the sun, the ice turns to gas and dust, forming a cloud called a coma and a long, beautiful tail. A fundamental rule, a law of celestial mechanics, dictates that this tail always points away from the sun, pushed by a constant stream of particles called the solar wind. Always. But not 3I Atlas. This object had a tail, all right, but it was a bizarre, focused plume of material pointing directly into the solar wind, straight towards the sun. It was like seeing a flag flying directly into a hurricane. This anti-tail glowed with an eerie persistence, making the comet look less like a passive block of ice and more like a powered vehicle firing a thruster. The observation sent shockwaves through the astronomical community. It was impossible. It was unnatural. It looked, to put it mildly, like it was being driven. Was this just a rock, or were we witnessing something far more profound? The initial data only deepened the enigma. Early estimates placed its size at up to a whopping 3.5 miles wide, a true giant compared to other comets. It was big, it was ancient, it was impossibly fast, and it had a tail that defied physics. Many people became crazy about the idea that this was our first undeniable proof of extraterrestrial technology, a probe or a derelict ship from another civilization. The media, of course, ran with it. Headlines speculated about alien engines and interstellar spacecraft, and for a while the scientists had no good answer to counter them. All they knew was that something deeply strange had just entered our home, and it was breaking all the rules. The object's chemical signature was about to make things even weirder. What is it made of? With the world buzzing about a potential alien spacecraft, scientists did what they do best. They gathered more evidence. This was a full-blown cosmic crime scene investigation, and the James Webb Space Telescope, or JWST, was the lead detective. JWST can see the universe in infrared light, allowing it to analyze the chemical composition of distant objects by looking at the light that passes through their coma. When it stared at 3I Atlas, the results it sent back didn't calm the speculation. They threw gasoline on the fire. The comet's breath, the gas it was exhaling, was unlike anything we'd ever seen from a comet born in our solar system. Here's the deal. Our comets are mostly water ice. They're wet. When they heat up, they release a lot of water vapor. but 3I Atlas was dry. The JWST found that its coma was overwhelmingly dominated by carbon dioxide, CO2, the same stuff that makes soda fizzy. The ratio of carbon dioxide to water was a shocking 8-to-1. This is an incredibly high concentration, suggesting 3I Atlas was formed in a very different and possibly much colder part of its home star system than our own comets. It was as if a creature that was supposed to breathe oxygen was suddenly found to be breathing pure nitrogen. It hinted at an origin so alien it challenged our models of how solar systems even form. But that wasn't the strangest part, not by a long shot. Deep within the light signature, astronomers detected the clear fingerprint of atomic nickel vapor. Now, nickel is common in asteroids, but it's almost always found alongside its cosmic partner, iron. They're like cosmic twins, forged together in the hearts of dying stars. Finding one without the other is exceptionally rare in nature. Yet in the coma of 3I Atlas, there was nickel, but no iron. The absence of iron was a massive red flag. The thing is, this is a chemical signature that is highly unusual in nature, but not so unusual in manufacturing. On Earth, separating nickel from iron is a key industrial process for creating specialized alloys. This discovery electrified the debate. An object with an engine-like plume, an exotic CO2 composition, and a chemical signature that mimics industrial refinement? To many, the case was closed. This had to be artificial. The evidence seemed to be piling up, pointing towards a conclusion that was both terrifying and exhilarating. We were not alone, and one of their machines was right on our doorstep. But not all things are what they seem, and the universe often has a way of being far stranger and more clever than we can imagine. The real explanation for the ghost engine and the alien elements was hidden in the comet's violent nature. A closer look revealed the comet was actually falling apart. A violent breakup. So how do you get an engine-like plume without an actual engine? The answer, it turns out, is beautiful, violent, and rooted in chaos. While the world was speculating about alien technology, astronomers using the Hubble telescope were noticing something else. The core of 3I Atlas, its nucleus, wasn't a single solid object. It was disintegrating. The immense gravitational forces it experienced during its eons-long journey, combined with the sudden intense radiation from our sun, was proving to be too much. The ancient visitor was cracking under the pressure, shedding large chunks of itself into space. And in that violent act of self-destruction lay the secret to its impossible tale. Imagine a spinning lawn sprinkler. It throws off water in all directions. Now imagine that one side of that sprinkler is suddenly cranked up to full blast while the other side is barely trickling. The spray would no longer be even. It would be a powerful, focused jet on one side. This is, in essence, what was happening to 3I Atlas. The comet was a deep frozen traveler, having wandered the frigid void between stars for perhaps billions of years. Then it entered our solar system and met the sun. For this ancient icy body, the sun's warmth wasn't a gentle greeting, it was a thermal sledgehammer. The side facing the sun began heating up dramatically, causing the supervolatile carbon dioxide ice on its surface to sublimate, to flash directly from a solid into a gas with explosive force. This process, called outgassing, was blasting off not just gas but also large reflective chunks of CO2 ice and dust. Because this violent reaction was happening almost entirely on the sun-facing side, it created a powerful focused plume of debris that shot out towards the sun. The thing nobody tells you is that CO2 ice vaporizes at a much colder temperature than water ice, meaning this engine likely switched on millions of miles further out in space than a normal comet's activity would ever begin. This wasn't an engine pushing the comet, it was a grand optical illusion. What telescopes were actually seeing was the sunlight glinting off this dense stream of freshly ejected, icy fragments. Observations from the Hubble Space Telescope confirmed this, capturing images of a ghostly convoy of shattered pieces tumbling away from the main body. These larger chunks, some the size of a house, had enough mass to resist the gentle push of the solar wind for a time. They continued along their original path, forming the distinct engine-like anti-tail. Meanwhile, the true tail, the one pointing away from the sun, was still there. It was just much fainter, made of tiny dust particles and gas molecules that were easily swept away by the solar wind, like smoke in a breeze. What we were witnessing wasn't propulsion, it was a lopsided explosion happening in slow motion. The comet wasn't steering itself, it was coming undone at the seams, performing a final, spectacular act of self-destruction. This chaotic breakup also neatly explained the bizarre chemical signature of nickel without iron. The intense, focused heating on one side was like a blowtorch on a complex piece of ore. It was vaporizing specific minerals on the comet's surface at different rates, creating a temporary and misleading chemical reading in the coma. It was a brilliant natural magic trick on a cosmic scale, a reminder that the universe doesn't need alien technology to create wonders that defy our expectations. But even with this answer, some questions refuse to go away. A message in a bottle. So, the mystery is solved. A disintegrating carbon dioxide-rich comet created an optical illusion that looked like an engine. It's a neat, tidy explanation that fits the data. But is that really the whole story? For people watching this, for those of us who look up at the stars and wonder, you have to ask, is it all just a cosmic coincidence? If this is a normal process, why have we never seen anything like it before? The thing is, we now live in an era where we can see these visitors coming. First Oumuamua, then Borisov, and now Atlas. They are arriving more frequently than we ever thought possible, and each one is weirder than the last. Let's entertain a wilder thought. What if the disintegration wasn't a random failure but a deliberate act? One theory, popular in more speculative circles, is the idea of a cosmic seeder. In this scenario, 3I Atlas isn't just a comet, it's a delivery system. It travels for eons between stars, and upon entering a potentially habitable system like ours, it executes a pre-programmed breakup. The violent outgassing that looks like an engine isn't for propulsion, it's for dispersal. The comet is intentionally scattering its contents, exotic minerals, organic compounds, and maybe something more into the inner solar system, seeding the building blocks of life. What many overlooked is that its trajectory brought it right through the plane where planets form. It wasn't just passing by, it was making a delivery. Another, even more chilling theory is that 3I Atlas is a piece of a galactic warning system. Its unusual chemical signature, nickel without iron, could be an artificial marker, a fingerprint left by a civilization that disappeared long ago. What if these objects are ancient sentinels, designed to remain dormant until they detect the radio waves of an emerging technological society? Its arrival isn't an accident. It's a response. Its bizarre, engine-like plume and subsequent breakup aren't natural processes, but a kind of cosmic alarm bell. A flare sent up to say, someone is awake here. The question then becomes, who is the warning for? And is it a friendly announcement or a territorial claim? Each visitor has been profoundly weird. Oumuamua was a strange, tumbling, cigar-shaped object that accelerated without a visible coma. Borisov was more normal but still chemically unique, and 3I Atlas put on this spectacular engine-like light show. It feels less like we've found the definitive answer and more like we've just opened the book on interstellar objects and found the first page to be more complex than we ever dreamed. This leads to perhaps the most tragic possibility. What if it was a messenger and the message is now lost forever? What if 3I Atlas was a Bracewell probe, an autonomous alien craft sent to make contact, but it was ancient, damaged, and dying? The engine-like plume could have been a malfunctioning drive, and its disintegration the final, catastrophic failure after a journey of millions of years. It may have reached its destination only to fall apart before it could complete its mission. Did nature fool us, or is the universe hiding its secrets in plain sight? If we are seeing more of these interstellar travelers, could the next one be the one that changes everything? Let us know what you think in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more cosmic mysteries.